What's going on, everybody? It is the non-spoiler review of Cobra Kai Season 5. I had a chance to have an early look at the season, so I'm excited to share my thoughts. Again, non-spoilers. I'm not going to spoil anything. I know it comes out this weekend, so I don't want people to get spoiled for any of the surprises that come and all that, so don't worry. That's not going to happen here. But I will have a spoiler review up soon, so make sure that you subscribe. Get to 70,000. We're trying to get to that by the end of the year, because we're going to take this show on the road. We're going to take the Big Thing Show. We're going to do stand-up comedy. We're going to do the whole thing across the country. We hope that you'll join us. Okay. So, Cobra Kai Season 5. You may or may not know I'm a massive fan of the Karate Kid franchise, and I became a massive fan of the Cobra Kai television show. Season 1, when it was out on whatever it was, YouTube Premium, YouTube Plus, I don't even know what the hell the thing was called, but it's gone now, so it doesn't matter. But I was a massive fan of the show when it came out, and I was skeptical, like a lot of people, when it came out, because I was like, okay, what are they going to do to the Karate Kid franchise? And the creators, John Hurwitz, Hayden Schlossberg, and Josh Heald, put a lot of love and magic into it, and there's a reason that it's as popular as it is, and it eventually continued on to Netflix, got picked up, and all this stuff. And what they do is, what the show has continued to do, I think that every single time, what you have to realize with the show, and I think that if you're into Season 5, you get it now. The first season relied on a lot of the, I think, realism from the first movie, and and then it started to become more of a, whether it was like an action movie mixed with some of the stuff from the 80s, and this kind of perfect blend of things that the guys grew up with and that people grew up with, and it consistently did that in the tone, whether you can find things from Star Wars in it, you can find things from wrestling, you can find all these types of things, whether people are turning good and bad. And the fifth season, I think, is the most out of all of it. It is like it's almost like a fantasy tale meets action, meets WWE, meets all of it, because there's like, Terry Silver is essentially the evil king who is now taking over the land, and it's essentially what is happening, and you have to have the warriors trying to come together to unite to try to take out the evil king. And it's, when you look at it, is it a bit silly that one person's trying to dominate the world by taking over karate dojos across try to take it as big as it can? Of course it's silly, but it's fun. And that's what the show is. It's fun. And and I'll be honest, in the first couple episodes, I'm like, and I asked myself the question, I said, all right, am I going to care enough anymore? Has the show run its course for me as I'm watching it? And I'm like, well, I got to see if I'm still invested in it. And sure as hell, I was still very much invested in it. And I was like, okay, I'm interested. And it's like, that's what's going to take you. Like, I've long gone in the second. If you go back and watch my season 2 reviews, I'm like, I don't know if I can buy the kids flipping off trees and do all that. Now, if they're not flipping off trees, I'm pissed off, because it's part of the show, and there's all these things that they're doing. It's like they're ninjas. They're not like karate students anymore. They're ninjas, and I'm okay with that. And it's like, who's the best? Who are the best? And now what has to happen is, with Daniel and Johnny having to work together, we know that. But you bring Chozen into the fray, and he steals the show. Yuji, who plays Chozen, I want to get his full name correct, but he is so good in this show. He steals the show, and it's a mixture of like comedy and heart. Yuji Okamoto, who played Chozen in the original Karate Kid 2 and came back to reprise his role in Cobra Kai. He's great. And the other thing that I'll mention is it's not a spoiler, because there's a picture out. Mike Barnes returns. That's all I'll say. Mike Barnes. Karate Kid 3 is not Cobra Kai makes Karate Kid 3 a better movie. That's what I will say. Because Karate Kid 3 is not a great movie, but there's some great characters in it. Terry Silver, Barnes, and they're both great in this. Thomas Ian Griffith, essentially playing the Emperor in Terry Silver, is now trying to have his dominance and the kind of the backhandedness and the stuff that he does. And as always, the kids are really shining. Both, I think Mary Mauser has a great performance as Sam LaRusso in this one. She's kind of getting over a lot of her doubts and things that happened the previous season. Speaking of which, Peyton List, who, another one, if I was going to say the two people that steal the show in this, it's Chozen and it's Peyton List as Tori, because Tori has to have an arc from what that's what I like about this season is that everybody's doing things a little different. Even Johnny, who's very different from what he was in season 1 to where he is now and the things that he's going through and in his life and what has to happen now between Robbie and Miguel. And if you follow these characters and you love their characters, I think that you're going to love the journey that they all go on. That's what I ultimately, as it went more and more, as I said, the first 2 episodes, I'm like, okay, I feel like this is similar to what we've seen before. And then I'm just getting more and more invested in the heart of the show. And by the time we get to the end, and they have to go, do they go batshit crazy in the finale? Because they always have to go batshit finale. They do. And does it deliver? It does. So it's insane. The ending is insane. And you're like, again, they would have done this in season 1. You're like, what the hell? This is like superhero stuff at one point. But you're like, nah, this is pretty awesome. For how it comes down, like it's like everybody in this show should have been arrested 85 times. Everybody, from the kids to the parents, everybody should be in jail from things that happen in this show. But you let it go because it's awesome and it's fun, and that's what we need right now. The show's fun. If you're looking for a fun show, season 5 is it. If you've liked the previous seasons, I think you'll get a kick out of this. Kick back, have a ride with it. But I'll be back with my spoiler heavy review soon. It's Cobra Kai. It's an easy watch. They're like 34 minutes a piece. I think maybe sometimes they get to 37, but they're pretty easy. They're just consistent with the rest. That's it, man. So do me a favor and subscribe. Hit that button. If you're here, why not do it? All right, that's the non-spoiler. Spoiler heavy coming pretty soon. And I'm going to have some interviews with some of the peeps too. So thank you guys. Appreciate you. It's Cobra Kai. It's season 5. It's a non-spoiler. Good night.